Here you got me. It sure tastes good.
Did you say you were
Here.
a yay?
Or you forgot water?
You guys ready? Good morning. Thank you for attending the Board of Works and Public Safety meeting of Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. Note for the record, we do have a quorum. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there any comments or petitions by citizens who are present? Seeing none, we will move on to the approval of the agenda.
I move for approval of our agenda.
Second?
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. First item on the agenda will be the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. First item for new business, item 1, board to consider a resolution RB 37-25, a resolution approving amendment to the build, operate, transfer agreement for construction of event center, the arena at Innovation Mile. Jonathan Hughes.
Morning, Board. Jonathan Hughes, City
Morning.
Attorney. Nice to see you all. I was telling a couple board members before the meeting I should have brought my abacus up here because Numbers and I are not friends, so perhaps that could have helped. Sorry for a couple of emails explaining this item, but let me get the numbers correct for you today. Here for you today for an amendment to our BOT agreement. This amendment does effectively 3 things. First, it closes out the project that we initially bid for in terms of the arena and the parking garage and the infrastructure related thereto, and reconciles the savings. On the project came under budget by $4.8 million, which is a great thing. The contract provides that we share that savings with Patch, and so the city will retain $3.38 million, and Patch will receive $1.5 million. So that's the first thing it does in this agreement is it closes out that savings, retains $3.38 million for the city. Second thing that this agreement asks you to do is to invest in a new pylon sign, which was part of our original plan, but the initial budget for the sign was around $2.5 million, and we felt that that was probably a little outside of scope, outside of budget. Here's an image of the pylon sign. The sign does a couple of things for us. Number one, it provides 2 digital displays on I-69, which allows space for sponsorship and promotion of Innovation Mile. So we'll be able to sponsor events at the arena, those who sponsor things in the arena, so maybe a drink sponsor or things of that nature, will be able to have digital display on I-69, which increases the value of that sponsorship. And also, you'll see underneath the digital display, there's a permanent space for a naming rights sponsor. This sign, we believe, increased our naming rights package to be able to name the event center, or the arena, significantly. For example, our initial term sheet with the Pacers indicated that the first $500,000 in naming rights would go to the city. We've been able to, we think now, we're going to have a naming rights sponsor over that $500,000, and the Pacers have agreed to give us everything up to the first $1 million, and this sign is largely the reason why we're able to push that number up. Don't have a naming sponsor for you yet, but hope to close that out in the next couple of months. And this sign helps with that because of the visibility. So that's kind of a 2D image. Here's a 3D image. The cost of that sign is roughly $1.8 million, and that's the second thing this agreement does. The third thing the agreement the amendment does, is allow us to invest in 2 other projects. Those 2 other projects are shown on this map. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Okay. So you'll see the arena here at the bottom of your image. There's a pedestrian boulevard along Innovation Mile that stretches from here all the way down to the arena. We are requesting $950,000 to invest in the scoping for that pedestrian boulevard. The pedestrian boulevard was part of a READY grant, so we do have some state money coming in for that, but the city will have some investment as well. And then in the blue here, you'll see our proposed location for USA Gymnastics that was just recently announced. This would also allow us to get that site pad ready so that development could occur a little quicker. We could get moving dirt out there. Again, we're only asking for scoping for those two, and we're asking for $950,000 to get scoping and hopefully get some dirt moving in the winter. The projects, that's what the agreement authorizes. The agreement authorizes the projects, but at this time only asks for that spend on those two projects. So happy to answer any questions that you have, but I do recommend approval. This will reinvest of our earned savings. It will reinvest roughly $2.8 million of the retained savings back into the project, which we think is the best use of it. One side note on this, because this is a tax, we had three bonds, but two sets of bonds. One were tax exempt, one were taxable. If the tax exempt bond proceeds are not spent by October 17th, there's a potential arbitrage because we earned really well on our investments. Our investments did really well. If we reinvest this money, we shouldn't have to worry about that arbitrage issue. So arbitrage basically means we'd have to refund the money to the federal government, which is, we think, better to invest locally than to rebate that money back to the federal government. And the other comment is, this is not increasing our bonds at all. So the money that we earned from the bonds, or the money that we borrowed from the bonds, did really well on investment, and the project was under budget. So we're not asking to increase the bond proceeds at all by any of these projects. So with that, I'd recommend approval of this resolution.
What's the time frame to get the sign up? When's it gonna be functional?
Yeah, so our hope is to have the sign up yet this winter. I'm not for sure if that's gonna happen, but that's the hope. So.
Okay.
I'd move for approval of resolution RB 3725, approving the amendment to the build, operate, transfer agreement, construction of the arena at Innovation Mile.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any questions?
That sign looks great.
Thanks.
All those,
Sarah will be happy.
I thought it
I
was
love
worth mentioning too, that my understanding is the sign is following the same ordinances as anybody doing any project of that same scope in that same area.
Correct.
So it's not like we're doing anything that the public wouldn't be able to do.
That's correct. And there's actually a sign of similar kind at Simon Mall at the Hamilton Town Center just up the road. So it's very similar. Ordinances track exactly the same. So that's
Nice.
correct.
yeah, so if anybody wants to spend $2 million on a sign, they can do that. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you,
Jonathan.
Board.
On to item 2, board to consider a facade improvement grant for 395 South 9th Street. Aaron Head.
Good morning, Board. Community Engagement Manager for the City of Noblesville. So this is a facade improvement grant for 395 South 9th Street. This project is only specific to removing some deteriorated facade and re-siding the structure there. The total project cost for the siding project is $35,740 with a maximum grant amount of $17,870. And then we always build in $1,000 contingency in case there's any unforeseen issues as they start the project. The total project itself is in the range of about $80,000 in improvements, so they'll be doing some additional improvements along with the new siding that's outside the scope of our grant. And this was reviewed by the Facade Grant Review Committee. They did had a few comments. There were some changes to the project for the siding itself to match the existing siding that's on the building, and the applicant made those changes. So they agreed to give a favorable recommendation.
We're still getting the cement fiber. It's just going to look like
Correct.
the
Yep.
current lap siding.
Yep. Absolutely.
Excellent. It's a good project.
I would move to approve the improvement grant at 395 South 9th Street.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thanks, Aaron. Item 3, board to consider extension of SLB Pipe Solutions utility project. Renee Goley.
Good morning.
Morning.
Before you is a request from SLB Pipe Solutions on behalf of the city's utilities department. This project is to separate storm and sewer lines. SLB ran into a few difficult areas, So they have asked to extend this closure to November 17th.
I'd move for approval of the extension of the SLB Pipe Solutions utility project.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to item 4, board to consider approval for temporary closure of 2 parking spaces in front of 45 North 10th Street during building renovation. Renee?
Before you is a request from Scott Baker from Baker Consulting Services. He is requesting to place a dumpster in the 2 parking spaces outside of 45 North 10th Street for renovations. He will have the dumpster placed for approximately 1 month, and he would like to place it tomorrow. And just a heads up, he will be back in a couple of months for another dumpster for a month.
Move for approval of the temporary closure of 2 parking spaces in front of 45 North 10th Street during the building renovation.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to item 5, board to consider approval of temporary placement of a scissors lift on the sidewalk adjacent to 110 North 9th Street. Renee?
Logan Marks is requesting to utilize a scissor lift in front of 110 North 9th Street for painting and patch repairs to the 2nd-story facade. The scissor lift will be used, allowing pedestrians to safely use the sidewalk and remain ADA compliant. A last-minute change did come in. They wanted to start this work on October 20th, but in having conversations with Mr. Marks and the building owner, they've decided to wait until the outside seating is removed from 9th Street. So tentatively November 1st, they would like to do this work.
Any discussion?
Move for approval of the scissor lift on the sidewalk adjacent to 110 North 9th Street.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Renee.
Thank you.
Item 6, board to consider purchase of a purpose-built truck for the Street Department Central Business District crew. James Alexander Hattie Johnson.
Yeah, James is a little under the weather and his voice is gone, so he asked me to present for him today. This is a request to purchase a pickup truck that'll be outfitted to work for the Central Business District crew, a place for them to keep all of their equipment inside their truck. It'll also have a charging ability so that they can charge their battery-powered equipment. Just updating it and making it a little more useful for them. Right now, they're using a truck that was just, we had in
A dump truck.
a dump truck, yeah. It's a small dump truck, but it's still a dump
Yeah,
truck.
well, it's big downtown.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
big downtown. You've seen it, I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah, I drive around it a lot.
So the request is to purchase the truck, which the lowest quote came in from Hare Chevrolet at $49,050, and they've offered a trade-in of $25,000, so that brings that total down to $24,050. And then upfitting for the truck costs $50,815 because that's how upfitting is. It's as much as the vehicle anymore, it seems like, for a total of $74,865.
Is this gonna have toolboxes, storage, all kinds of
Yes,
stuff?
yeah. It'll
Okay.
have toolboxes on it that they can access from the side of the truck, and it'll just work much better for
Okay.
what they need it for downtown.
Yeah, it was kinda hard for me to follow the price, but yeah, 50 grand for the upfitting.
Basically, both, the truck, total for the truck was $49,50.
Trade-in.
A trade-in 25, so
And
that
then
drops
50
that,
for
but,
upfitting.
and the upfitting total cost is $50,000,
Yeah.
so.
Patty, the quotes on the vehicle are awesome. I appreciate Hare's quote. To me, that doesn't seem like a lot of money for a $350. I mean, it's a
Right,
good price. Is it Mid-States equipment?
yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Are they like the only vendor? Nothing against them, I just.
Right, they
you know,
are the
we're-
only
We're getting
local-
3 quotes over here, and
They are the only local upfitter in the area that had the specified equipment that we were looking for.
Thank you. Move for approval of the purpose-built truck for the street department.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Item 7, board to consider amendment to service agreement with HNTB for Lift Station 2 project inspection services. Kristen Parker.
Before you use an amendment to the services agreement with HNTB, this is for inspection services for our 2 lift station projects, the pump replacement and the interceptor placement project. Both projects have taken considerably more time, so we're requesting an amendment with an additional amount of $148,000.
Basically doubling the,
Yeah, it brings it up to $312,000.
I would move we approve the amendment to the service agreement with HNTB for our lift station 2 project inspection services.
Second.
any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Item 8, board to consider change order number 1 with Murphy Construction for Federal Hill Forest Park Trail, Park Link Pass. Andrew Rodewald.
Good morning.
Morning.
If you've driven by Logan Street along the Federal Hill corridor lately, you've seen the new crosswalk across from Kroger to the park. That is directly what this change order is related to. Downtown District Committee had set aside funds for that crosswalk earlier this year, and until we had the final dimensions set aside, we didn't know the exact dollar amount of that. So that's what this change order is for, is the crossing of Logan, and then there is a decorative crosswalk across the Kroger driveway. If you haven't seen that one, come off John Street on the side there. So I would recommend approving that change order.
I appreciate your leadership in these crosswalks. It's very nice to see engineering have some artistic ability.
We don't have artistic ability, we know who to give it to.
It looks very nice.
Andrew, I think we had a little discussion on this in the past, but is there anything to slow that traffic? Do we have any flashers? I apologize, I just don't remember. I just know on farmers market days, it's scary. And I'm glad to see this crosswalk, it already looks great.
The problem with the farmer's market or Constance or anything is everybody crosses the street wherever they want.
Yes, down by the
There's
bank,
no-
or the old bank, yeah.
It's just a free
It's
fall.
just scary, yeah.
So we put a median in where the left turn lane is that would go into the parking garage. Took the left turn lane out and added a median there. There are flashers, the rectangular rapid flashing beacons for both directions now. So that narrows the road up and then puts those up. Like you said, you can lead a horse to water. So we've provided a location
You're saying
there.
our citizens are horses.
The state has put in additional crosswalks at State Road 19 to help from the south side with their project last summer. So we have 2 spots that
Any
try and push them that way.
Any future plans of a pedestrian bridge over?
I don't know about a bridge, but we are
Tunnel?
looking at whole improvements through that area in future years. So we'll, as we work through the capital improvement plan, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Move for approval of change order number 1 with Morphe Construction.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to item 9, board to consider professional service agreement with Butler Fairman and Seifert for preliminary engineering of Kerrigan Road and North Harbor Drive. Andrew.
So speaking of capital improvement plan, this intersection was identified as part of that plan to begin preliminary engineering. So that is what this would be for, is for just a preliminary design of a roundabout at that intersection. Oak Bay and North Harbor Drive on north and south for Kerrigan Road. It will also look at a trail connection that really connects a gap from one entrance of North Harbor to the other. So we're going to look at a few alternatives through there as part of this, but no construction funding is identified right now, so we'll just be doing preliminary design.
In the preliminary design, did they also look at the advantages of closing that intersection and doing the roundabout all at once compared to restricting traffic?
We will, the layout of that, so the layout kind of determines it. It's impossible to fully close it because that's the only entrance into Oak Bay.
Oak
sorry.
Bay, okay, yeah.
So you can't fully close it, but we'll look at, can we offset one way to maybe close Kerrigan traffic, but obviously that's an issue too, so we'll kind of weigh some of those layout options.
Because it's just amazing, although it was very painful to have 32 closed, 90 days to put in that roundabout was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
And then I look at the roundabout up there
You can
by
tell the difference on Kerrigan, for example.
Whitcomb in 38, it took years.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in favor of whenever we can close, let's close.
Yeah, if there's an opportunity, then we will look at that.
Short pain is much better than long pain.
Right.
Any further discussion?
Move for approval with the services agreement with Butler Fairman for the preliminary engineering of Kerrigan Road, North Harbor.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 10, board to consider resolution RB 38-25, a resolution updating the traffic code. Andrew.
Your favorite items. So this is for Allisonville Road from Wellington Parkway to 146th Street, technically our limits, which are just shy of 146th Street before it transfers back into the county. That road was previously a 50-mile-per-hour section of road. It drops to 30 as it comes into town on the south side. So we looked at that. Speeding isn't really a true issue out there today, but there are some sight distance issues in some of the driveways and entrances to neighborhoods. 45 made more sense for what it is through the entire stretch of Noblesville. We don't have a lot of 50-mile-an-hour roads. In fact, I think that was the only one. So,
I thought it was 70. I don't know.
well, and a lot of people think that, but speeds really aren't
on
that
37.
high, believe it or not. So, yeah, people are really traveling at a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. So this just brings that into alignment with the rest of the road.
Any discussion?
Move for approval of RB 3825 for updating the traffic code.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Patty, when you put up the new speed limit signs, I want one of the old 50-mile-an-hour ones because that was the last road in Noblesville that was 50 mile an hour.
It's been the only road for a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang it and put it in my office.
What office?
Yeah, why not?
It's my retired office.
Your office is like mine, it's in Bedford.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. On to item 11, board to consider permission to advertise for bids for Old Town Sidewalk Rehabilitation Project. Andrew.
And this is an annual project for doing sidewalks around Old Town. We have identified some areas, one on the north side of Stony Creek Elementary along Holland Street, and then multiple areas along Harrison Street, both by Ivy Tech and then up near 14th Street and around that intersection. So we would advertise for bids, quotes probably on this, and get that out with completion likely by spring of next year.
I move to approve the permission to advertise for bids for Old Town Sidewalk Rehabilitation Project.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Item 12, board to consider temporary road closure of 169th Street between Hazeldale Road and Milk Creek Road for sanitary sewer repair. Justin Hubbard.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, this is gonna be a temporary closure of 169th Street, between Mill Creek and Hazeldale Road. Whenever they were installing the sanitary main for the Courtyards of Hazeldale project, we require them to bore under the road to keep from having to do a closure. And some kind of issue happened where now there's a belly in the main that is located directly under the center line of the road. So the only way to fix it is to unfortunately close the road. But if you guys have any questions about the closure,
You could bore alongside it,
you could.
and then maybe it'd go up, and then they would,
Just clear the top.
Come along.
yeah.
Yeah, I do have a representative from EPCON here, if you guys have any specific questions about the closure. It would be from October 20th until October 24th, end of day.
Move to approve the temporary road closure of 169th Street between Hazeldale and Mill Creek Road.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Any further business in front of the board? Mayor, would you like to address the board?
Mayor?
Good morning, board. Great to see everybody this morning. I first of all want to say hello to Brian Spalding. Congratulations on your new baby as of last week. Glad it's you and not me, but thank you for continuing to grow Noblesville's population. So hope you
Our
guys
pleasure.
get
Yep.
some sleep.
Thanks.
So keep going. While this is not his last meeting, it is his next to last meeting. And I want to just take a moment to thank someone that I admire more than he'll ever know, somebody that this city owes a massive debt of gratitude, and that's why you see so many people in the audience today. But John Ditzler has decided to retire yet again from public service to head out west to be the supportive spouse that he is in Terry's next chapter of her ministry mission. So I just, I think someday if you look up true gentleman in the dictionary, John Ditzler's face will be there. He's obviously surprised by some people who are coming to patronize him here today. But in a time where elected officials aren't always hailed as genuine and kind and gentlemanly, you have broke the mold, sir, and you continue to do so. And even after your chapter as the city's leader closed, you raised your hand to serve yet again on this board and have done so with incredible distinction. And what nobody knows but you and I is that you have been just a complete loyal supporter of mine, in my ear all the time, encouraging me even in dark hours that you've sat through in the past before too. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for your continued leadership, your continued mentorship, your friendship, and everything that you've done for the citizens of Noblesville. So I have a key to the city for you that I'd like to present to you, a personally made wooden key to the city. And underneath it, it says Mayor John Ditzler, a true lion chaser. And that's a biblical reference into 2 Samuel, where Benaiah goes into a lion's den and comes out victorious. And it really reflects people who dream big and who aren't afraid to chase those dreams. And I think that you are the epitome of that. So if we could give this man another round of applause, I'd appreciate it.
Steve Wood, and everyone else, another former councilman, Brian. It's been a pleasure to love. I knew I was in trouble when Terry came in, other than thank you. I love you all.